Welcome to the Let's Keep It Light podcast, and thanks for listening. In this episode, Dr. Ginger Bowler sits down with Bryche Taylor to talk about her new book, Heart of the Sale, and why emotional intelligence is the missing ingredient in the wellness and weight loss industry.
My guest today is Bryche Taylor, and I just read her book, and even though she sent it to me a while ago, and I absolutely loved it. It's called The Heart of the Sale. We're both in the photobiomodulation industry. That's light therapy to most of you. But tell us about the book and why did you write it now? Tell us about it and your journey.
All right. Well, first, thanks for having me.
Yeah, you bet.
I'm so excited about this book. It's more about empathy and emotional intelligence in the weight loss and wellness industry. But for me, it was also very personal because I am an empath, just I think born empath. So I do talk a lot about my personal story. I've been running a body contouring wellness light business, Infrasculpt, for almost 9 years now. And this book is just a long time coming. I do a lot of trainings. We've just recently opened a lot of locations. We're up to 20 now. So I needed another way to train my people. And so that was one of the reasons. But then I also felt like not just in our business or in the Infrasculpt world or light therapy world, it's also necessary in all wellness and in all sales of weight loss or wellness industry. So that's why I wrote it, and I'm super proud of it. And
it's different than your basic sales book that everybody's written a new version of. It was completely different for me. I read it in the middle of the night. And because we were going to do this podcast, and I'm like, oh, okay, I haven't read it yet. I better read it. And it was so clean, so concise, so easy to read. But it's different because it's about empathy. It's about empathy in selling and being in our industry, in the holistic or energy medicine industry, photobiomodulation. A lot of our holistic practitioners or alternative, whatever you want to call them, have a difficulty with sales.
yes, so sales, I know for me, when I even started in this business, a huge part of what we do is creating the pitch sheet or the sales sheet to show the client. And it took me a long time to get comfortable with the pricing that I have. And every person that I work with, Reiki, massage, or any kind of holistic healer, they really all struggle with this, trying to decide or feel. Because when you give of yourself as a healer or, when you're doing wellness, these people are hurting. And so there is a sense of guilt in charging them money for it. And so that I just wanted to end that, because that shouldn't be how it should be, because we've spent our lives dedicating our lives to learning how to heal these people.
Right. And so say more about that.
So meaning we spend... So there is an exercise that you made me do early on when we met, because we've known each other 5 or 6 years now, something like that. And early on when we met, I was struggling with what to charge for licensing, for signing up a location. And you said, okay, you're going to stop right now. You're going to write everything down that it costs you to get this business where it is, all the money you've spent and the time, and you're going to multiply those hours by just an hourly rate, like a minimum wage. And I did that, and I was blown away at how much money I spent and time I spent to get the business where it is. And now selling a location, which is similar to even just selling a package to a client, it's so easy for me to ask for the amount that I ask for. And it's not even an exorbitant amount. It's very affordable, but it's still, I can ask for that because I know what it costs to start this business and the mistakes and all of that.
And what it would cost that person if they just tried to do it on their own and figure out everything you've figured out, from all the legal stuff and the forms that you've had to do, and
just
the process itself.
Yes, the process for clients and what to charge them. It all kind of trickles down, right?
Right. So, because some of our listeners may never have listened to any of the other podcasts where I've interviewed you about InfraSculpt,
Yes.
Which is you're the founder of that. I mean, that's your baby. Tell us a little background on that.
So I've been in wellness for 20 years, starting with infrared saunas, but I really got interested in red light and light therapy in 2017. So I decided, and I wanted more connection with clients. I wanted that one-on-one service instead of just selling a product online and never following through and hearing the success stories of the client. So I started it, and it is a 3-step program called InfraSculpt, and it uses red light, whole body vibration, and the infrared sauna. And obviously that's how we came to meet, because of the Let's course and the light therapy course, because I really felt, again, like I needed education behind my company, and that's, where you came in. So it's been amazing, and, just all of that learning and supporting. So the light therapy, what I've seen it do for clients. And then that's how the empathy and sales stuff comes in, because, we need all the women or men, but mostly women we see come in to me, and they've got a lot of problems. They're dealing with a lot of health issues and mental stuff going on. Women take on a lot of load. And so that is where the empathy in the sales comes in, because I found that the women were coming to me, especially pre-COVID, when red light wasn't a huge option for body contouring.
Right.
And they were just used to being sold to, and they were used to being told, oh, you're fat, you're this, you're that. Like, you go into a plastic surgeon's office and they're going to rip you apart. Right. They draw all over you. And so I just wanted to be different. I wanted to change that. So even before the book, and before I did the empathy and emotional intelligence course at Berkeley and delve more into the science and the studies of it all, I just think I embodied it. It's just who I am. I want to be kind to people. I want them to feel comfortable and safe. And I want to empathize with what they're going through. And that sells.
And I know that's what you teach, and that's what the whole book is about. And so we were talking about, so let's talk some about the content of the book and the concept of selling with empathy rather than shaming, high pressure selling, which we always tell our clients, listen, we're not doing any of the high pressure selling stuff. We're going to work on you, and then if you like it, then you can choose to go forward. But but let's talk about the content and the of the book itself. Again, called The Heart of the Sale.
I think that with this book, I wanted to also put some personal stories in there. Yeah. Not only my own story of, losing my dad very young, growing up in the country, being kind of a double water sign if you're into the zodiac stuff, but just being always the crier or the sensitive one. And so I wanted the thing that I got made fun of the most for, or struggled with the most growing up, being bullied and those kinds of things. And I was able to turn it into my biggest superpower. Yeah. And so, for people out there also that are very sensitive and just naturally empathetic, it's actually a great thing, and it can be a great thing. So that's what I wanted to put into the book, was that personal touch and that feeling of, if you're a born empath, which we'll also get into if you're not and how to learn to be. But, that's how I am, just born that way. And so with the development of my program over the last 9 years, I have slowly implemented just who I am as a person. And it works. It works when you're kind to people. Wow. Concept.
Wow. Imagine that.
Right. So, and putting it in with light therapy and, wellness, I think is so great, because it's just in alignment completely. But it would be so nice if other industries adopted that way of thinking as well. If someone's going in to buy a car or a house or anything really, I don't think it's just pigeonholed to wellness, but I go through the steps of how to treat a client, from the intake process to just doing the treatment and not getting rid of that high pressure sales environment. And one of my key points is, don't worry about the money. Right? Because as soon as you get hung up on I need to make money, that's not going to happen.
All right, let's talk about money. and charging. In the field of energy medicine, natural healing, there's a lot of guilt, shame, upset about having to charge for your services.
Right. So I know we touched a little bit on it, but it's really about recognizing your value, like we said before. And so making sure that you understand that you've done all this work and you've put all this money into it, and that there's value to it. And it's an exchange of energy, like we said. So you are giving something of yourself, especially when you're empathetic. I actually feel sometimes like people that are in wellness need to charge more because you're giving of yourself. Like I know Reiki healers that they can hurt for days, headaches and stuff, taking on their client's energy, and it affects their life. So anything that's your time and your effort and your energy and your studies deserves to have that price tag on it.
Right. I'm fond of saying, because I've had many people say, well, you want to trade for, I'll give you a massage and you treat me for free. And of course, that's an exception to every rule. And sometimes that's going to happen. But my response has been, my mortgage lender doesn't want me to turn around and give him a massage. They want actual money. And so don't be afraid to exchange actual money. The other thing that happens is that a lot of times when you're doing these trades, someone feels like it wasn't even. Yeah. Okay, that's one thing. And the other thing, like you said, is that money is simply a form of energy. So there must be an energy exchange. In my experience, if someone doesn't pay for my services, they're not going to get as much benefit as someone who does.
Yes. You have to put value on it. Well, in marketing, they call it having skin in the game. And that's such a loose term on it. But someone, if they don't put their money down, then they won't see value in it and they won't bring their mind to it, and the mind is very powerful.
And follow through. So they won't necessarily follow through. Yeah. We were talking about, I owned another business with my partner at the time. This is years ago, a couple of decades ago. And it was right when Dr. Hulda Clark was coming up with had written the book, The Cure for All Cancers and The Cure for All Diseases. And then there were some others. And in the book, she had a picture of Hannah Kroger's wormwood combination. Well, I was teaching Hannah Kroger's work. She was my teacher and distributing her products. And we had a wholesale distribution company where we sold to health food stores and health practitioners, as well as to some, to retail customers. And we went from being moderately busy and doing our work and teaching, what Hannah had taught us and having the products available and all of that, to Hulda Clark's come out with this book. And oh my God, now we're selling, cases and cases of the wormwood combination, and then eventually the black walnut and whole tincture and the freshly ground cloves. And a couple of times this happened during that part of my career was we would have a customer call us and had maybe read Hulda's book or whatever, or somehow knew about the products, and say to us, well, if these products work that well, how come they're not free? And that's exactly would be my response. It's like, wait a minute. Now, hello, explain to me why I should work and my family should work and my employees should work and be able to have this product to turn around and to give it to you because it's so good. I mean, who does that make sense to, right? Yeah. But, so people will have weird, experiences of how that energy exchange should be. Yeah. But if you're a practitioner in the healing arts and you're struggling with the whole issue about charging or charging enough or being fair in your pricing and all of that, just remember, you're actually doing your client or customer a service and an honor to know that they they're big enough to pay for this themselves.
Well, they want it. So if you, and you'll build your confidence too. Just try it. If you're thinking about increasing your prices, like if you're a healer, I've had this conversation with a few friends that are Reiki healers, and they struggled to raise their prices, and they did, and they got more clients. So, I mean, it's really, and they just gain the confidence. It is worth it. People want it, and what we have and what we have to give. So don't feel bad about it. Just try it and see how it goes and see how it feels for you.
Yeah, on that note, when I used to teach a quantum biofeedback academy, we would often have this discussion about how someone would be, okay, well, I'm only charging $75 for my session or $50 or something. And how long is your client in the office? Oh, an hour and a half. Okay, well, same thing. I'm afraid to go up in my prices. But the person down the block has the same system as me, and they're charging $175, and they're busy all the time. Like, yes, because the perception there is that they must be smarter.
Well, you have to value yourself as well if you want others to value you.
Yeah, that's right.
It has to start here.
Right.
So you need to get comfortable, like we had said before, you made me do that exercise to write down everything. And then I valued myself all of a sudden. I was like, wow, what I did has meaning and value, and it took my time and my effort. So what I have to teach is important, and what I have to say and what I have to give. So
all your training, all your education, all your equipment, none of that was free.
And your life experience. So don't ever devalue some of your trauma or things that you've gone through and healed to get there, because that is very difficult. And for me, that was the biggest part of this empathy and this book was getting over, feeling like being a people pleaser and feeling like being teased or bullied by girls and then eventually women. And it's just, that has come full circle for me now. And I realize that, okay, yeah, I'm sensitive. So, okay, well, that is important in the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dr. Ginger Bowler is a certified light therapy instructor and co-founder of the Light Energy Training Seminar. Bryche Taylor is founder and owner of Infrasculpt.com. You can send us an email with your questions and comments to podcast@letskeepitlight.com. And be sure to visit us on Facebook and Instagram. I'm Sarah Weston, and we'll see you at the next episode of Let's Keep It Light.